I noticed something scratched into the floor beneath it. Words. It feeds on openings. Before I could think, before I could breathe, the whisper stopped. The silence was complete. Then from deep within the walls came a low resonant thud like a massive heartbeat. The red door trembled. A small slit opened in its surface, oozing dark fluid that dripped to the floor. I stumbled back. The smell was unbearable, rotten iron. Then faintly I heard footsteps behind me, slow, bare, wet. I turned and there he was again, the boy. His eyes were empty sockets, his skin gray and stretched thin. He tilted his head just like before. "You shouldn't have followed," he whispered. "It's awake now." "Who?" I croaked. "What is it?" He didn't answer. He just pointed at the door. Then his body jerked violently as if yanked by an unseen force, and he was pulled backward into the shadows. His scream echoed down the hall, cut short by a sickening crunch. I stumbled toward the elevator, but the doors were gone. The wall was solid concrete. The red door behind me creaked. Slowly, it was opening. A blinding light burst from the gap, red, searing, filling the hallway. The sound that came with it wasn't human. It was a roar mixed with 1,000 voices crying out in agony. I fell to my knees, covering my ears, screaming as the noise tore through me. Then blackness. When I opened my eyes again, I was standing in the hallway of the boarding house. The red door was right in front of me, and this time there was a key in the lock. The key glimmered faintly in the lock, old and tarnished, but unmistakably there. I didn't remember putting it there. I didn't even remember having a key. My first thought was that I was dreaming, that all of this was just my mind playing cruel tricks after everything I'd seen. But the cold metal against my fingertips told me it was real. I looked down the hallway. The lights were dim, flickering as they always did, but the air felt different, thicker, heavier, humming like static before a storm. The doors along the hall were gone. Only the red door remained. The key turned by itself. The sound was soft, almost delicate, like the faint click of a lock releasing. I took a step back, my breath catching. The doorknob twisted once slowly, and the door creaked open just an inch. A rush of cold air spilled out, carrying the scent of earth and iron. My heart pounded. I wanted to run, to scream, but my body wouldn't obey. The open crack pulsed faintly with red light, and from within I heard a faint, trembling whisper. "Come home." It was my voice. That single sound shattered the last thread of calm I had. I slammed the door shut and backed away, but it didn't budge. The hinges groaned. The knob rattled violently, and then the whisper came again. Dozens of versions of my own voice overlapping, echoing. "Come home, come home, come home." I turned and sprinted down the hall, but no matter how far I ran, the door followed. I'd reach a corner, there it was. Turn another way, it was there again, waiting, pulsing with light. The walls began to melt. The wallpaper sagged like skin, dripping onto the floor in thick clumps. Beneath it, the walls were black and alive, moving with a slow rhythmic pulse. I could feel it now, the entire building breathing. The whispers grew louder, filling every space in my head until I could no longer think. The floor beneath me softened, rippling under my steps like flesh. I tripped, falling hard onto my knees, and when I looked down, I saw hands pressing up from beneath the surface, their pale fingers reaching, grasping, pulling. I screamed and kicked free, scrambling to my feet, slipping on the slick floor. The red light brightened until everything was bathed in its glow. And then all at once it stopped. Darkness. Absolute suffocating darkness. I could hear my heartbeat pounding in my ears, the sound too loud, too heavy, and beneath it breathing, not mine, something huge and slow drawing in air from the dark. "Who are you?" I whispered, my voice trembling. The darkness answered, "We are what's left when doors are opened." The voice came from everywhere and nowhere, echoing inside my skull. It wasn't one voice but many layered together, a choir of the damned. I tried to move, but invisible hands gripped me tight. Cold fingers brushed against my arms, my face, my neck. Something leaned close, its breath cold and damp against my ear. "You made a hole," it whispered. "And holes must be filled." I screamed as pain lanced through me. My vision flickered with white spots. My body jerked as if invisible strings were pulling me in different directions. The darkness swirled, twisting around me, forming shapes, faces, limbs, all writhing in silence. Then a hand emerged from the dark, pale, child-sized, trembling. The boy. He looked at me with empty eyes, his lips moving without sound. I couldn't hear him, but I understood. He wanted me to follow. The moment I reached for him, the world shifted again. I was back in my room. The same cracked wallpaper, the same window overlooking the forest. Outside, dawn was just breaking. For a moment, everything was still. I tried to convince myself it had been a nightmare, that I'd fallen asleep after the hospital, after everything, that none of it had happened. Then I saw the floor. Footprints. Small, wet, leading from the door to the foot of my bed. I stared at them, frozen. They stopped right beside me. The sheets rustled, just slightly, and I felt the weight of something small sitting down at the edge of the bed. My throat tightened. Slowly, I turned my head. The boy sat there staring at the wall, his back to me. His skin was pale and slick, like he'd just stepped out of water. I could hear him whispering softly to himself, "They don't sleep. They don't forget. Who doesn't?" I managed to croak. He turned his head just enough that I could see half his face. His eye was black, hollow. "The ones behind the door," he said. "They want you now." I shook my head violently. "I didn't open it, I shut it." "I didn't," he smiled, small and sad. "Once you see the door, it's already open." The room trembled. The light from the window dimmed even though the sun was rising outside. A low, humming vibration filled the air. The boy stood, turned fully toward me and pointed to the window. Outside, the forest wasn't there anymore. The trees were gone. In their place was a vast, empty plain of black soil stretching endlessly beneath a red sky. And in the distance stood thousands of doors, all identical, all red, all pulsing faintly, as if waiting. I stumbled backward off the bed, crashing against the wall. My chest heaved. "What do they want?" I shouted. The boy tilted his head. "They want to come through. Then, without warning, his body twisted violently, bones snapping like twigs. His mouth opened wider than humanly possible, and a deep guttural scream erupted from his throat. His body dissolved into black smoke that swirled around the room before vanishing completely. The humming stopped. Silence returned. I collapsed to the floor, shaking, tears streaming down my face. I didn't know what was real anymore. I still don't. All I knew was that I could feel something pressing against the inside of the walls, like fingers tracing beneath the surface, searching for cracks. And from somewhere deep inside the floorboards, faint and distant, came a whisper that made my blood run cold. Another door has opened. I didn't sleep that night. I don't think I could have, even if I'd tried. Every sound made me flinch: the creak of the walls, the faint hum of the old refrigerator, the whisper of the wind through the cracks in the window. I sat in the corner with my knees pulled to my chest, my eyes fixed on the door to my room. It didn't move. It didn't make a sound, but I could feel it watching me. There was no denying it anymore. The thing behind that door, whatever it was, wasn't confined to the hallway. It had followed me. It was here now, patient, waiting for something. Around 3 in the morning, my phone buzzed. The sound made me jump so hard I nearly dropped it. Unknown number. I hesitated before answering. My voice cracked when I spoke. Hello? For a moment there was nothing, just static. Then a voice came through my voice. Don't look behind you. Every muscle in my body went rigid. The line went dead. I didn't move. I couldn't. The silence that followed was worse than the voice. I could hear my pulse thudding in my ears, shallow and fast. Slowly, against every instinct screaming at me not to, I turned. There was nothing there, just the window, the cracked wall, the shadows. But the reflection in the glass wasn't mine. It stood behind me, a tall, thin silhouette with hollow eyes and a mouth that stretched too far. Its hands rested on my shoulders, the fingers long and black, curling slightly like claws. I spun around. Nothing. The room was empty again. The reflection, though, didn't vanish. It stayed in the window, smiling. I grabbed my bag, my keys, and ran. I didn't even bother putting on shoes. I just needed to get out. The hallway outside was dark again. Longer than it should have been. The light at the far end flickered, buzzing faintly. The red door stood waiting, silent, patient. I didn't look at it. I bolted down the stairs 2 at a time, heart hammering in my chest. When I reached the front door, I threw it open and froze. Outside wasn't outside. The forest was gone. The street was gone. There was nothing but endless red mist stretching in every direction. The air shimmered with heat, but it wasn't warm. It felt wrong, like it carried whispers with it. Behind me, the door slammed shut. I was trapped. I turned, pounding on the door, shouting for help, for anyone, but the sound was swallowed by the mist. It didn't echo. It didn't travel. It just vanished. Then I heard it again, the heartbeat, deep and steady, vibrating through the ground. It came from everywhere at once. Shapes began to move in the mist. At first I thought they were people, shadows walking aimlessly, but as they drew closer I realized they weren't walking. They were dragging themselves, their limbs too long, their bodies twisting in unnatural ways. Their faces were blank, smooth, no eyes, no mouth. Each of them carried something small in their hands, a piece of wood painted red, a door. One by one, they stopped at the edge of the clearing, forming a circle around me. There must have been dozens of them, maybe hundreds. The ground beneath me rippled, cracked, and then, slowly, a door began to rise from the earth. It was the same one, the red door, the key still in the lock. The figures started whispering, their voices low and rhythmic, merging into a chant I couldn't understand. The door pulsed with light, red spilling through the cracks. I wanted to run, but my body wouldn't move. The air was heavy, pressing me down. The key turned on its own. The door opened. The light was blinding, red and white all at once, searing through my eyes and into my skull. I screamed, covering my face, but the sound was drowned out by the chorus of whispers. Then, as the light faded, I saw it. The thing that had haunted me through every wall, every dream, every reflection. It wasn't one being, it was many. A mass of limbs and faces, all shifting, merging, splitting apart. Each face screamed soundlessly, mouths opening too wide. Their eyes, when they had eyes, were pure black. At the center of it all was a void, a hole that led nowhere. And from within that void came the boy. But he wasn't a boy anymore. His skin had turned gray and stretched thin, his body elongated and broken. His voice was still small when he spoke, though it echoed like thunder in the red mist. "You opened the first door," he said. "Now it won't stop." "What won't stop?" I shouted. "What is this?" He stepped closer. His eyes, once hollow, were now burning red. "The world behind the door was never meant to touch yours. But when you turned that key, the walls began to rot. Every opening feeds it. Every crack, every lock, every whisper, it grows." I shook my head. "I didn't mean to." "I didn't," he smiled sadly. "Meaning doesn't matter anymore." The ground shook. The door began to splinter, pieces breaking off as the thing inside pushed forward. The figures in the mist dropped to their knees, bowing as the air filled with the sound of cracking wood and roaring wind. "Close it," I screamed. "There has to be a way to close it." The boy looked up at me, his expression unreadable. "There is," he whispered. "But you won't like it." He pointed toward the door. "Something must take its place. A soul for a seal." My mind reeled. No, there has to be another way." He stepped closer, his face inches from mine. "It chose you. Because you listened. Because you believed." Behind him, the thing reached through the doorway, a massive hand, black and slick, dragging its claws through the dirt. The smell of rot and blood filled the air. I knew then what he meant. If I didn't stop it, if I didn't close the door, it would keep spreading. And the only way to stop it was to take its place. The boy held out his hand. "It doesn't end," he said softly. "It just passes on." The door groaned again, light spilling out in violent flashes. I could see faces forming in the air, people I'd never met, people who'd opened their own doors before me. All of them watching, waiting. I looked at the boy. I looked at the door. And with tears burning in my eyes, I stepped forward. As I touched the key, he whispered one last thing. "Don't worry, someone always opens it again." The moment my hand touched the key, everything went silent. No more whispers. No more pounding heartbeat in the ground. Even the red mist froze, like the air itself was holding its breath. A pulse of warmth surged up my arm, through my chest, into my skull. For a second I felt weightless, like I wasn't standing on the ground at all. Then came the pain, a deep splitting ache that tore through every nerve in my body. My vision went white. My skin felt like it was burning from the inside out. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. The light burst around me, swallowing everything. The boy, the mist, the door, all dissolved into a blur of red and black. I was falling, tumbling through layers of air that felt like thick glass, breaking through them one by one. I couldn't tell if I was falling for seconds or centuries. Then, silence again. When I opened my eyes, I was standing in the hallway. It was clean, quiet, normal. The lights worked. The air was still. The red door was gone. I blinked, half expecting it to reappear, to see that ominous paint, that shimmering brass keyhole. But it wasn't there. Just a smooth wall where it used to be. I turned around slowly. Every door leading to the tenant's room stood open, lights flickering softly inside. There was no sign of the storm or the mist or the endless red void. It was like nothing had ever happened. My knees gave out. I sank to the floor, gasping, shaking uncontrollably. I pressed my hands to my chest, half expecting to feel that heat still pulsing under my skin, but there was nothing. Just quiet. After a while, I stood. My mind was a blur of questions and fear, but one thought pushed its way through the haze. Get out. I moved through the hallway slowly, afraid that any sudden sound might break whatever fragile balance held this place together. When I reached the lobby, I saw something that made my blood run cold. The front door was open, and standing just beyond it was me. Not exactly me. The reflection was off, slightly distorted, like I was seeing myself through warped glass. This version of me smiled. My reflection didn't blink. It lifted its hand, palm out, like it wanted me to mirror the gesture. Against every instinct, I did. When my hand met the invisible barrier between us, the glass rippled like water. The reflection's smile widened. Then, without warning, it spoke. "You closed the wrong door." The sound wasn't coming from its mouth, it was coming from everywhere. The walls, the ceiling, the floor, all vibrating with that same voice. Before I could react, the reflection vanished, replaced by darkness beyond the doorway. And from that darkness, something started to step through. I stumbled back as a shape emerged. Tall, pale, and wrong. Its limbs were thin, too long, its body bending in ways that shouldn't have been possible. Its face was blank except for one feature. A door, small and red, carved where its mouth should be. The sound of the key turning echoed in the air, and the door on its face opened. Light poured out. The same red glow I'd seen in the forest, in the mist, in every nightmare since I'd arrived here. It spilled across the floor, crawling up the walls like liquid. I ran. I sprinted back down the hallway, heart slamming in my chest, every breath tearing through my lungs. I didn't know where I was going, just away, anywhere away. But the hallway didn't end. No matter how far I ran, the same lights passed above me, the same wallpaper, the same smell of dust and rot. The building had turned in on itself, looping endlessly. Behind me, the sound of footsteps echoed, slow, heavy, deliberate. The thing was following me. "Please," I gasped, "please just stop." The air shifted. The sound stopped. I slowed down, chest heaving. The hallway ahead flickered, the lights dimming one by one. Then I saw it again. The red door. But it wasn't at the end of the hallway anymore. It was in front of me, and this time the key was already turning. I backed away, shaking my head. No, I did what you wanted." I closed it. The door clicked. It creaked open slowly, the hinges groaning like a dying animal. From inside came the faint sound of breathing, deep and wet, like lungs that hadn't worked in centuries. Then a whisper. "You were supposed to stay." The voice wasn't the boy's. It wasn't mine. It was everything that had been trapped inside that endless red world. Thousands of voices speaking at once, each one layered on top of the other. "You sealed yourself in," it hissed. "Now something must take your place." My stomach turned to ice. "No, you can't. You said..." "We never said you would leave." The door flew open and hands burst through, pale, skeletal, clawing at the air. I tried to run, but there was nowhere to go. The hallway had collapsed into shadow, the walls stretching and breathing like living flesh. The hands grabbed me, cold, so cold it burned. They pulled me toward the door. I fought, screamed, clawed at the floor, but it didn't matter. The red light swallowed me whole. As I was dragged inside, I saw flashes. Faces, hundreds of them, screaming silently from within the walls. People who had opened their own red doors before me. Each one trapped in their own repeating nightmare, and then stillness. I was standing in a new hallway, the same wallpaper, the same smell, the same flickering lights, except everything was reversed. The red door was now at the beginning, and somewhere far away, I heard a knock. Soft, gentle, curious. Someone else was there. Someone new. And as I turned toward the sound, I felt my lips curl into a smile that wasn't mine. The door began to open. The sound of the knock echoed through the hallway, soft and deliberate. It was exactly like mine had been that first night. 3 short taps, hesitant, almost polite. I didn't want to turn around. I didn't want to see who it was. But something inside me, something that wasn't entirely me anymore, compelled me to. And when I did, I froze. It was a woman. Mid-30s maybe, dressed in hiking gear with a flashlight clutched tightly in her hand. Her face was pale, streaked with dirt and sweat. I could see the same fear I'd once felt in her eyes. That creeping uncertainty. The confusion of someone who just stumbled somewhere they shouldn't be. She was looking at the door. The red door. I wanted to scream, to warn her, to tell her to run, to stop before it was too late. But the words wouldn't come. My mouth moved, but no sound escaped. My body didn't respond to me anymore. It was like I was a reflection, a ghost caught behind glass. The woman took a hesitant step forward. "Hello?" she called out softly. Her voice trembled. No one answered. She frowned, glancing down the hallway as if expecting someone to appear. Is anyone here?" The air around us shifted. I could feel it. The door reacting to her presence, the same subtle vibration I'd felt before I opened it. The faint hum of something ancient, alive, waiting. The woman hesitated, clearly torn between leaving and finding out what was behind that strange red door. The same curiosity that had doomed me was now working on her. "No," I whispered, or tried to. "Don't." But all that came out was a faint hiss like wind through static. She didn't hear me. Her hand reached out, fingers brushing the surface of the door. She gasped and pulled back slightly. The paint was still warm, almost pulsing under her touch. The door shuddered. A low creak echoed down the hallway, followed by a faint rhythmic thump, 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 a heartbeat. Her breathing quickened. "What is this place?" she murmured to herself. I wanted to close my eyes. I wanted to look away, but I couldn't. I was forced to watch the same way someone might watch their reflection do something they couldn't control. Then I realized something. I wasn't just watching her, she could see me. Her eyes snapped up, meeting mine through the glassy air that separated us. Her brow furrowed. She took a step closer. "Hello, who's there?" Panic surged through me. If she saw me, if she acknowledged me, the door would claim her faster. I knew that now. Recognition was the key that opened it. I shook my head violently, trying to gesture for her to leave, but she misunderstood. "You need help?" she asked, stepping closer. The hum in the walls deepened, turning into a low growl. The lights flickered, her flashlight sputtered, the beam cutting in and out. She turned to leave, but it was already too late. The door unlocked itself with a sharp metallic click. The sound froze her in place. She turned back slowly. The key twisted on its own, the brass gleaming faintly in the dying light. Her lips parted. "No," she whispered. The door opened. The red glow poured out, painting her face in light. Her scream barely lasted a second before the darkness swallowed her whole. Then silence. When the light faded, she was gone. And in her place stood another figure, a faint, shadowy outline where she'd been. It turned slowly, facing me, and as the light from the ceiling steadied, I saw my own reflection staring back again. Only this time, I wasn't on the other side. I looked down at my hands. They were covered in paint, red paint dripping from my fingers like blood. The hallway around me had changed. The walls were bare, stripped of their wallpaper. The floors cracked and dry. At the end of the hall, the door was closed once more, and beside it a small brass plaque had appeared, screwed into the wood. "Do not open." The letters were carved deep, almost desperate. I took a step forward, reaching for the plaque, but as soon as I touched it, I felt a pulse in my palm. The warmth spread quickly, seeping into my skin. The words began to shift. They rearranged themselves one letter at a time until they read something else entirely. Welcome home. The lights buzzed overhead. The air grew thick again. Behind me I heard the sound of footsteps. Slow, dragging like someone walking barefoot down the hall. I didn't want to turn around. I knew what I'd see, still I did, and there they were, all of them. The figures from the mist, the ones who'd come before me. Their faces were pale, stretched thin, eyes sunken. Each one carried a key. They lined the hallway, silent, waiting. The air was filled with the soft jingle of metal as they raised their hands, holding the keys out toward me. Then as one, they spoke. "You are the keeper now." The keys disappeared. The red door pulsed once, twice, and then everything stopped. The hallway dimmed to black. When I opened my eyes again, I was standing outside. Morning light, birds, the smell of rain. I was back at the motel, just like before. The forest stretched in every direction, silent and still. For a moment I thought it had all been a dream, but when I turned I saw it. A door half buried in the dirt, its paint peeling but still unmistakably red, and sitting in front of it was a brass key. I picked it up. It was warm. And from somewhere deep within the trees I heard it again, that familiar whisper, "Don't worry, someone always opens it again." I don't know how long I stood there staring at that red door half buried in the earth. The forest was quiet again, too quiet. The kind of silence that feels like the world is waiting for something to happen. The air was still, heavy with the smell of wet soil and pine. The key in my hand pulsed faintly, almost like a heartbeat. I wanted to drop it, to walk away, to pretend none of it had happened. But I couldn't, my fingers wouldn't let go. The metal seemed to have fused with my skin, the warmth sinking deeper, crawling up my arm in slow waves. Somewhere, far off, thunder rolled across the mountains. I looked back toward the motel. It was there, small, distant, and wrong. The windows were too dark. The roof seemed taller. The building shifted slightly, like it was breathing. I blinked and it went still again. A chill ran through me. The key's pulse quickened. "Stop," I whispered, though I didn't know who I was talking to. "Please, just stop." The forest didn't answer. Then I heard it. Footsteps crunching through the undergrowth behind me. Slow, deliberate, familiar. I turned, expecting to see the woman or the boy or that twisted creature with the red door carved into its face. But it wasn't any of them. It was me, or rather, what was left of me. My other self stepped out of the trees, eyes hollow, skin gray and cracked like old porcelain. It moved with a strange, jerking grace, its head tilted slightly like it was studying me. "You're not supposed to be here," it said in my voice. The sound made my stomach twist. Hearing my own tone, calm, flat, detached, coming from that thing was worse than anything I'd seen before. "I closed it," I said, the words trembling out of me. "It's done." The reflection smiled, slow and wrong. "Nothing closes. Nothing ends. You only pass it on." I shook my head. "No, I stopped it. I sealed it. I wish you opened it." The world seemed to darken around us. The forest leaned closer, branches stretching like arms. The ground beneath my feet rippled, softening, the soil turning slick and red. The other me stepped closer, close enough that I could see the faint shimmer of light inside its eyes. "It's waiting," it whispered. "It always waits. It needs someone to hold the key." I looked down. The metal was glowing now. Threads of light crawling across my palm, searing into my skin. I could feel it changing me, sinking into my blood, rewriting something deep inside. "What happens if I don't?" I asked, my voice barely audible. The reflection smiled wider, exposing too many teeth. "Then it finds another way." A wind rose suddenly, whipping through the trees, scattering dead leaves like ash. The red door in the ground began to tremble, the wood splintering. The paint peeled in long strips, revealing something dark beneath. Not wood, but flesh. Living flesh. It throbbed faintly with each beat of my heart. I stumbled back, the key burning hotter. The reflection didn't move. It just watched me with that calm, empty stare. Then softly it said, "Someone's coming." And I heard it. Voices, faint at first, then clearer. Laughter, footsteps, the sound of an engine shutting off. A car, the motel, new guests. The air filled with the smell of rain and exhaust, and for a brief, horrible moment, I understood. The world was resetting itself. The cycle was starting again. The reflection began to fade, its form dissolving into dust that swirled upward, vanishing into the red haze leaking from the cracked door. I fell to my knees. "Wait, how do I stop it?" Its voice lingered in the air. "You don't." The last of it disappeared. I was alone again. The ground beneath me stopped shaking, the forest going still. The only sound left was the faint buzz of insects and the whisper of wind through the pines. I looked at the key one last time. It wasn't glowing anymore. It looked ordinary, dull brass, scratched and old. But when I held it to my ear, I could hear something faint inside it, breathing. I don't remember walking back to the motel. One moment I was in the forest, the next I was standing in the hallway again. Everything looked the same as it had that first night. The same faded carpet, the same flickering lights, the same oppressive quiet. Except now, there were voices coming from behind the doors. Laughter, a television, someone humming softly. Life. Normal, ordinary life. I almost believed it was real. But as I passed the last room on the left, I noticed it. A small dark line along the wall. A crack. Faint, almost invisible, but pulsing faintly red. I reached out and touched it, warm. And from the other side, something tapped back, once, twice, 3 times. The same rhythm as the knock that had started it all. I stumbled backward, clutching the key, every nerve in my body screaming. I could hear whispering again, low and distant but growing louder. Words I didn't understand, looping endlessly. The lights flickered, and then, for just a heartbeat, I saw it. A door forming in the wall. Red paint bleeding through the wallpaper like fresh blood through bandages. The doorknob glinted faintly. The key in my hand turned warm again. I could leave. I knew I could. I could run into the forest, drive until the tank was empty, never look back. But something deep inside, that same curiosity, that same pull, told me I wouldn't. Because now, it was mine, my door, my hallway, my turn. I don't know how much of me is left anymore. Sometimes, when I catch my reflection in the cracked bathroom mirror, I see someone else looking back. Their eyes aren't mine. Their smile is too wide. But I've learned to live with it. The guests come and go. They laugh, they sleep, they pass through the hallway, never noticing the faint red shimmer at the end until one of them does. Until someone stops. Until someone knocks. And when they do, I'll be here standing in the shadows watching. Waiting. Because that's what the door wants, and deep down, maybe that's what I want too, after all. Someone always opens it again.